Hello, travelers. Welcome to the Copper Fox Inn. Come on in, take a seat, and join us as we discuss Homebrew for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. My name is Thomas the Human Bard, and I am joined today by...
Mercy the Tiefling Wizard.
Onog the Half-Orc Barbarian.
And Bean the Rock Gnome Rogue. Real quick, Onog discovered a magical item in real life. He discovered that there were these Olympic-themed Oreos, and he thought they were regular Oreos, but it turns out they have Pop Rocks in them, and when you don't expect a food to have Pop Rocks in
it can be quite disorienting.
It is assaultive, and it was very funny to watch, and I just wanted to share that.
To watch my face slowly realize that there were Pop Rocks.
I thought you were
going to
say that they somehow gave him the powers of an Olympian.
Oh, see, that would be cool.
No, I already have those.
No, they're just sort of a weapon. It just causes a very small explosion in your mouth.
It does 1 point of fire damage.
They are fire-based Pop Rocks. Anyway, I just wanted to share that moment because it made me laugh very hard.
Thank you.
Well, travelers, thank you for listening to our show. That'll be it now that...
All right, that was the magical item.
Yeah.
That was the item we brought today. Let us know what you thought. On today's episode, Mercy, the Tiefling Wizard, has brought something to share with us. I believe it is a subclass. Is that correct?
Yes,
Oh, no.
So this was sent to us by friend of the channel, returning creator, Marshmallow Figs. You may remember Marshmallow Figs from the Lo-Fi Beats Bard.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
College of Lo-Fi Beats to relax
one
and
of the
study
chillest, most mellow episodes to date. So we'll put a link to that one in the description if you guys want to go check that out as well. Get a little more Marshmallow Figs content in your day. This is a Paladin subclass. This is the oath of getting blackout drunk and wandering into a church.
See, I usually do those in the reverse order.
Like accidentally doing religion.
I go into
You get
churches,
blackout drunk at church.
Yeah, I go into a church, I get blackout drunk, and I wander out.
Wow. Cool weekend.
For the record, I have not ever done that.
That was
It was a lie.
If you're listening,
for comedic
Mom,
purposes.
I've never done that.
Mom, I've never done that, and I don't condone that behavior. I don't suggest it.
Yeah, up front, we would just like to say, if you find yourself like regularly getting blackout drunk, that's not
And wandering into a church.
Yeah, and
Not
wandering
what's
into
supposed
churches.
to happen.
Just a reminder to anyone out there, be healthy about your consumption choices and be respectful of people's holy places.
Drink responsibly.
The Copper Fox Inn wants you to drink responsibly. A woman, high heels in her hand, hears a choir and wants to hear more of it. A man who needs to use the bathroom stops in a church, but instead of looking for a bathroom, listens to the sermon. Some schmuck had too much at the pregame and thought that this church was actually where the party was. Any of these, or anyone else who drank a bit too much and found themselves in a church, can have an intensely religious moment and make an oath through their slurring speech.
Like, this is a thing that happens
just
enough
happens.
times.
So wait, this is about finding God while you're smashed.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
These paladins are the oath of getting blackout drunk and wandering into a church. Due to the power of their drunken emotion, these paladins always seem a little drunk. Slurred speech and lowered inhibition are common. However, once they swear the oath, they will no longer suffer the negative effects of alcohol. No nausea, no vomiting, no drowsiness. Their beautiful buzz lives on.
So it is kind of like in a certain kung fu, there's the path of like a drunken boxer.
Well, I mean,
Well,
the
and
drunken...
there's the drunken
That's
master
Yeah, in
subclass
D&D,
for
there's drunken
monks.
master for monks.
Yeah.
I know.
So they would just be best friends.
So now we have to branch that out to every class. So there's a drunken wizard, a drunken rogue. We have to
drunken
start
bard.
branching that out. Yeah.
We're not trying to make any claims about like actual kung fu. We know literally nothing about that. Just talking about the D&D one for the record.
All I know is that Jackie Chan made a few movies of it that were very cool.
That were
and I
very
liked some of
good
them.
and
That
cool
is my
movies.
frame of reference.
Yeah, those are very awesome
yeah.
movies.
Those are great. The tenets of getting blackout drunk. Paladins who have made their oath while blackout often follow these tenets. Remember the moment. Always refer to the moment you had your wonderful revelation. Encourage others. Hey, if you had a moment like this, other people can have one too, you know?
Oh man.
I had another one in mind. I kind of forgot, but I'll get back to it later.
That's the actual.
That's the oath.
That's the
Yeah,
actual
that's one of the tenets.
I thought that you were just saying.
Nope, that's one of the tenets.
And
And I'm still a little drunk. Guys, I'm still a little drunk.
Okay, this is like when your friend is on spring break and she gets lost in Greece for a second and she comes back and you're like, where were you? And she was like, you guys are not gonna believe this. I met Zeus. And you're like, okay, Brachynia. And she's like, no, for real. I'm different now.
What? Is this a relatable experience?
Yeah, you guys
Does
have
this-
never gone
You don't know
yachting to
Brachynia?
Greece?
You've never hung out? Have we never invited you to all of Brachynia's dope parties in
In
Greece?
Greece, where she meets Zeus all the
Oh,
time?
my bad. I thought you
Where
knew
else do
about
you meet
those.
Zeus? I'm confused.
The only thing that's ever happened was I was on that one vacation with my friend Olaf, and we met Thor, but that was very different, okay? Very, very different.
Where you also, ironically enough, got blackout drunk and wandered into a church.
Now, the oath spells, and these are a wonderful thematic selection here. You gain oath spells at the Paladin level listed. Paladin level, so at 3rd level, you get Ceremony and Heroism, sure. 5th level, Blur, which I really like.
Nice.
And Protection from Poison, fair.
Nice.
9th level, Enemies Abound, and Slow, which I like a lot. 13th level, Confusion and Divination. 17th, Awaken and Dawn.
So you can evoke all of the negative effects of being drunk into
Like
your
a hangover.
opponents.
Like what a story
I love-
that spell selection tells.
Yeah.
What a journey that took me on.
Literally, if you go like from top to bottom,
Yeah.
it's the story of getting blackout drunk and then waking up.
Yeah. I mean, I
as
like
a
the
paladin.
idea of you looking at your enemies and being like, is everything blurry? It seems blurry. And they're like, no, it's not. And then you're like, it is actually.
And then
I really-
you become blurry.
I really like that paladins don't have to be explicitly like religious or spiritual, but this one definitely is.
Yeah.
Definitely is. So Channel Divinity. When you take this oath at 3rd level, you gain these 2 Channel Divinity options. Making it work. You can use your Channel Divinity to use whatever you got on hand to make it happen.
Love
When
it.
you are holding an improvised weapon, you can use your Channel Divinity to imbue it with divine power. This can be an empty bottle, a book you picked up a little while ago, your own shoe, etc. Whatever it is, for the next hour, it gains the following benefits. The wielder is proficient in this magical finesse weapon, so
Oh,
it
it
makes it a
becomes-
magic
it
weapon,
It gets
guys.
the finesse property.
That's
It
really
gets the finesse
good.
property.
Okay.
The damage of the weapon becomes 1d12.
What?
Nice. So
A
it
magical
becomes a battle
weapon
axe.
with 1d12
Yeah,
and it's your
becomes
shoe.
a magical finesse battle.
That's
axe.
incredible. If they roll below a 4 on the damage die, they can re-roll it until they get a number that is 4 or greater.
Oh, so they just can keep... Oh, my goodness.
So
I want-
this woman with her high heels in hand, who heard the choir singing, wanders out
She'll
and
beat
starts
you to
like
death with those high
stabbing
heels.
people to death with those heels. Incredible! I love, guys. This one is so good. I love this Channel Divinity.
Like, your friend comes in and is like, I've got it. I can open the door. Steve, that's an oven mitt. I got it. And slaps the door, and the oven mitt works, and the door is crushed.
The door
You're like,
explodes.
Shatters
in front
into
of him.
splinters.
okay.
This next one is so good, you guys. You guys,
no.
I love this one so much.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional breakdown.
Oh.
You can use your Channel Divinity.
I don't love it. In real life.
You can use your Channel Divinity to recall the hammered moment of your oath, causing you to break down in tears. All enemies within 30 feet of you must make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failure for the next minute, they must use their bonus action to give you inspiring words to get you to stop crying. Oh my gosh, I love it. The creature does not need to
They're so
speak your language.
off-put by it.
Are you okay, buddy?
The creature does not need to speak your language or any language. If the creature has the multi-attack feature, they instead use one of their additional attacks to encourage you to stop crying.
Okay, so
Dude,
instead
dude,
of...
calm down. It's okay, buddy.
It doesn't actually stop them from attacking you, but it stops them from attacking you more than once a turn.
It just
Yeah.
wastes some of their action economy, which
Yeah.
is great. I
I
love
like
that
that-
control.
I like that this is what they did because you could have gone with you're throwing up and the creatures have to try to help hold your hair out of your face, and that would have been the same thing.
But the flavor of this is so
better
nice.
because again, it's that combination of like I either had or I believe that I had a spiritual moment while I was drunk.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I feel like you've all had your friend who's like very drunk at the end of the night and either cries because they're like, I can't find my chicken nuggets, or they're like, I love you so much. And
Yeah,
you're like,
Britannia, she's like that. Guys, I'm worried about Britannia.
honestly, she's doing okay though. You kind of think she's not doing good, but then she finds one of the chicken nuggets and then she used it to kill a guy. So I think she's doing okay.
Every time I'm around here, I am just compelled to like try to get her to stop crying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
she's a
I
crier.
love that ability though, actually. I was really impressed with it when I was reading it because I was like, wow, that is so creative.
It's
like that
good.
is one of the most interesting, unique, flavorful, creative abilities where, because a lot of the time homebrew is sort of reflavored, reworked existing abilities, which is good. Like that's a smart way to do it because you know it'll work, it'll be balanced. You know, no one pulls things out of a void. Creativity is always based on something else, all that stuff. But this one was really interesting where I was like, they really like thought about that. One of those things where it's like you used the third idea. You were
Yeah.
like, what could I do for this?
I do think
It's really cool.
for most, and this is not like necessarily a criticism, but like for most generic enemies, like wasting
They
their
don't
bonus
really
action
use a
doesn't
bonus
do
action.
any.
Yeah.
Like they don't use it anyway on their turn. The goblin will still stab you and then just say, "Sorry about that. Stop crying, please." Like it won't change how the goblin acts
I feel
on
like
its turn.
actually the multi-attack
Yeah.
feature is something that
That's
you see
actually
more
better.
often
Yeah.
in
Important
enemies.
feature.
Yeah.
That's
A lot of enemies have multi-attack.
Yeah, that's a much better.
That super lowers like the damage output a dragon can physically
Yeah.
make because they
Oh
make
my
like
gosh.
3 attacks.
That's
If
right. The
it was-
dragon has to look down and be like, "It's okay."
Yeah. If it was like they have to come within 5 feet of you to like pat your back and offer you words, that could be interesting because it's like it moves
draws
them
aggro.
and then you can
Yeah.
keep attacking them because there's nothing here saying you can't attack them back. Like,
The fact that you get this at third level, I feel like it's balanced already. Like you don't want it to be you don't want it to completely like immobilize a dragon, right? At
It
third
is-
level. And it is a wisdom saving throw, which they can pass.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
So it'll level with you too, which is good.
Yeah, I'm just saying that for most creatures at those early levels, it will be literally it does nothing. It changes
Yeah.
nothing about how they
Well,
act.
and when you're third level, most of your enemies don't have
Have
multi-attack yet.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Nothing will change about the situation. so.
It does kind of
Sure.
remind me a bit of like the kobold features of like getting other people to stop attacking you for a second,
Yeah,
whether
yeah,
it
that
is through
kind of stuff.
cowering or your
Grovel.
roar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
or being really cool like the redone kobold.
Yeah.
Yeah, being
roar.
actually really cool and not
The good
not
one.
lame at all.
But what I'm saying is like maybe that's kind of what they were going for, and perhaps there is a way of pulling inspiration from something
Yeah.
like that.
I think
Yes,
that would be
for
fun.
sure.
Glamour bards also kind of have similar effects of like people are so dazzled by you that they don't do anything. So clearly that's what's going on here.
Right.
That
Yeah.
Right.
kind of idea.
Either way, this is a very, very cool idea and a cool
Yeah.
place to start and be working with.
Build off of. Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
All right, so now what can you do to benefit the people around you? Aura of Sloshed.
Oh,
At 7th level, you emanate an aura of the same buzz you felt when you made your oath. You and all allies within 10 feet of you can choose to join into this buzz. Before you or an ally make a melee attack with a weapon that they are proficient with, which can be your shoe, they can
For you.
choose to take a -3 penalty to the attack roll. If the attack hits, you or the ally add +7 to the attack's damage. At
Oh,
18th level, the range of the aura increases to 30 feet.
So
That's
this is
so
like-
interesting.
This is
So
like a
it-
drunken haymaker sucker
So
punch.
it gives everyone a pseudo great weapon master sharpshooter
Well,
ability.
Yeah.
it's really reckless.
Yeah, they're less
Yeah.
good at hitting because they're sloshed, but when they hit, they really hit them.
I mean,
Which
I've
is so
actually,
good.
I've seen this kind of thing happen. I was at a Denny's very late at night, and 2 very drunk people
With Britannia.
started a huge fight.
Yeah, she was in the fight.
No, Britannia saved the day. Are you kidding? She cast blur on herself and then threw up. I think I'm not sure what she did, but I think she helped. She said she did. But it is scary to watch someone who is very inebriated try to be violent because they will often throw themselves much harder and more recklessly than
You're holding nothing back.
yeah, than you normally would, which does mean that they sacrifice on accuracy, but like if they do land that, it's gonna be way more brutal than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
for
this,
sure.
This
Unless
does,
they're punching wrong, then their wrist
well,
goes down.
that's
But
also very true. But like this does hold true to that vibe for sure.
I also want to talk about, because this is like a pseudo Great Weapon Master ability, which for them you can -5 to your attack roll and add +10 to damage.
Yeah.
You could, I guess, theoretically...
-8. Right?
Yeah,
If
you
they
could
stacked?
you could stack these abilities on top of each other and give -8 to your attack roll, but +17 damage.
That's
I guess.
Wait, stacked with what?
Great
Stack
Weapon
with
Master.
Great Weapon
Weapon
Master
Master.
or
Oh
Sharpshooter.
man, I didn't realize that's what that feat did.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It does a lot of things, but the primary thing is that it lets you transpose your accuracy for
Wow.
raw damage output. And
The
this is
thing-
just a mini version of that.
Yeah. The thing for me is that typically in 5th edition, outside of feats, which are always, I feel like generally speaking, in the design of 5th edition, feats assume you know a bit more about the game so they can get a bit more granular.
You can
Yeah.
start being a little more
They
specific.
can be
and
more
weird,
specific. Generally in like classes, subclasses, those like options that are just going to be available to everyone, they tend to stay away from math, from
Yeah.
-3 plus 7. So if this was made by Jeremy Crawford or
Yeah.
whatever,
Math is the forbidden thing.
yeah,
in
it would
D&D.
probably say something like they can choose to have disadvantage on the roll, and if they do, they add your proficiency bonus to the damage or something. So it's always this like,
So
like,
it's always the same or
Yeah.
something you can calculate without
yeah,
having to
and
look at
instead
the
of
rules.
being this like I have to remember -3 and +7 every time.
Yeah,
that
and that's
is
one of the
kind of-
things that's really fun about using homebrew is because
Yeah.
homebrews don't have to.
Yeah, definitely.
They don't have to get
don't have to
approved by the
placate to the
committee that
lowest
says,
common
well, this
denominator.
isn't according to our guidelines.
I just thought
whatever.
I'd point out that's why you don't see more things
Yeah,
like this.
that's why it
in
feels
most,
different.
Like published. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It feels like it's a little different. It's just like
Yeah.
kind of different.
Giving everyone within 10 feet and then eventually 30 feet of you Great Weapon Master, yeah, that's pretty potent.
I think it's probably giving them okay Weapon Master.
It's
right?
Right,
fine
yeah, it's
Weapon
not
Master.
quite.
Fine
No,
Weapon Master.
And it is very good to your point, Onig, that it can stack, which you always want to be able to have abilities stack with the relevant feats when you can.
It's
All right,
also
next ability.
I was just gonna say it's also a consensual situation. Like you get to choose. Unlike if somebody casts like darkness or something, thinking that they're helping, but now everyone's in the dark. You
Yeah.
get to decide if you nerf your attack
with that.
or not,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah. All right, so the 15th level ability, I really don't care right now. At 15th level, you're so drunk that you have stopped caring about how cool the enemy thinks they are. You want to take them down a peg. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you may choose one resistance or immunity to a damage type they have. Until the end of your next turn, they are no longer resistant to that damage type.
Awesome.
Or if they were immune, they are instead resistant to that damage type.
Oh, okay. So it
That's
doesn't
cool.
entirely remove
That's
it,
real
but
good.
That's
Yeah.
That's
pretty cool.
really good. Like, it can be so difficult, especially like if you're not a full caster who has like chromatic
Yeah.
orb and a lot of those variety spells. It can be so difficult when you're up against something where it only matters if you use fire damage or whatever, and like none of you have the right thing, or it's immune to like slashing,
Yeah.
and that's all you have, where it can be frustrating where it's like, okay, I guess I'll let the wizard and the druid handle this one, all I have is slashing damage.
Yep.
It's cool that you can say like, no, I can still get in there and make a difference.
I mean, like,
like-
you're getting ready to cast some kind of flaming thing. You have a flaming sword, and the villain is like, "Oh, you fool! I was forged in the battle of I'm impervious to fire," and you're just like, "Okay, shit, whatever, dude." And you stab
I literally
them,
do not care.
and they're
Yeah.
still like, they're like, "What?" And it's just you decided to not care about it, and because of it, it didn't apply
I'm just
to you.
I'm picturing that. What is that movie with like I think it's Christopher Walken, where the guy's like pointing a gun at him and he's like, "You
Oh,
have
yeah.
to do this," and he's like,
Put your
"No,
hands in the air. No.
No. What? That doesn't make any sense. I don't care.
I have a gun. I don't care.
Yeah,
There's a-
it's just like I'm resistant to fire. No, you're not. That doesn't make sense. I don't care.
I didn't.
It's
I
so
didn't
good.
hear the words "I'm resistant to fire," so that doesn't.
So I
apply.
forgot to apply the
I
damage
forgot that
resistance.
you
I'm
weren't
sorry.
resistant. So
Can you
are.
pick? So it says you have to choose a resistance or immunity to a damage type. Can I pick magical? Because
Well, yeah,
they often
especially
say
because of the way certain-
magical's not a damage type, but
Well-
magic damage is a kind of
or
damage.
non-magical damage
Non-magical.
specifically too.
Well, yeah, well, so for instance, werewolves have immunity to non-magical non-silvered weapons.
Yeah.
Or to slashing, bludgeoning, and piercing. And so it's like, can you say so you say they no longer have immunity and they now only have resistance to those
I
things.
think you could.
Because the thing in that sentence you're modifying them would be magical, but quote magic is not a damage type.
Right.
Right.
I think as a DM,
I
would allow it, but all of us here at this table are more interested in
forgiving.
like letting a
I
cool thing
think
happen.
So
Rules as written.
if we want to get real nitty gritty though,
Probably
one
not.
of the things is that, so do you have to know about the damage resistance before you apply this ability? So for instance, if you don't know that so-and-so, Edgard the Burned is resistant to fire damage because you haven't hit him with a fire attack yet, can you just say, I'm getting rid of one of his resistances? And then the DM has to say, I get rid of fire, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Interesting.
This is one of those ones where it's like, I really like this idea, but player knowledge and or DM knowledge start to conflict if you don't have all of the pieces.
Yeah.
Unless it gives you a way to get that piece, there's going to be a question between
because
the player
their
and the DM.
entire subclass abilities designed around learning the things that this ability would inherently give you.
It doesn't say you learn the resistances and immunities of this creature.
exactly.
It just
If
says
it
you
did,
get rid
then
of
we
one of
wouldn't
them.
have to worry about it.
Yeah. I think the only thing that really needs to be changed is something that happens with, if you are unaware of the creature's resistances or immunities, like one is chosen at random or something,
Yeah, or a way to learn them or something.
Yeah, or you gain, or because you use the ability, now one of its resistances.
Yeah,
something
definitely.
like that,
Yeah, something like that could potentially be helpful for sure.
Like, you're so drunk that you see through their BS and you already know what they're going to say. So because of that, you gain insight into the resistances and immunities that they have.
Yeah, see,
and
that would
you're
solve
tired
the
of it,
problem
and
right
so
there.
you just choose one of them that they don't actually have.
Yeah, I like that.
So the final ability, capstone ability to this subclass.
Okay.
Woo! At 20th level, you can channel the exact energy you had when you made your drunken oath. As an action, you become that beautiful drunken mess, gaining the following benefits.
Because the paladins all have a transformation. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Gaining the following benefits for 1 minute. You add +5 to your AC, as your drunken swaying keeps you nimble.
Jeez.
That is very drunken boxer.
It's basically like you have blur cast on you. All enemy creatures near you begin to feel the alcoholic energy and begin to stumble. If an enemy within 30 feet of you tries to move, they must make a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failure, their movement stops and they fall prone as they trip over themselves.
Love it.
That's really good. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. That's really good.
So the
that's
vibe
cool
of this,
control.
You look
They
like
can't move.
a shining, beautiful, brilliant paladin, and then
1 minute.
you're like, I transform, and then suddenly your hair is a mess, and you have like red under your eyes.
You have, like,
sweating
terrible
out,
breath.
girl.
Yeah. You're just
You're
like you're burping a lot.
Yeah.
And,
It's
and you're like,
fantastic.
behold my power, and everyone's like,
What?
whoa, are you okay, man?
Well, it plays into such a common trope that you see in like sitcoms and stuff where it'll be a recurring bit of like, well, regular Mercy, but man, can't wait till you see like 3 drink Mercy. She's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
of this idea that you have this like other person you turn into
Yeah. I
after
mean, they,
X
like,
number of drinks.
touch on that in like Brooklyn Nine-Nine or like
Exactly. It's super common in sitcoms as a bit.
you know.
And so I like that it is playing off of that
And also the
existing
famous
trope.
literary classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Is that what that book is about?
I don't-
Is it just
I don't
rampant
think so.
alcoholism? Is that just what the book's
perhaps.
Perhaps. But that's actually like really
Yeah.
powerful. Like that's
It's
that's
awesome.
a really useful area control thing that is gonna benefit your whole party.
Well,
That's
especially
really
too
cool.
because there's no stop to the saves they have to make if they try to move. So if they
For the
get
whole
knocked
minute.
prone, you have to use half your movement to stand up again. And then if you try to move again, there's nothing to say that it doesn't also trigger again.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly. I get knocked down, but I get up again because you're
But
never
you
going to
don't
keep me
get up
down.
again.
I get knocked down. Yeah.
I think like it's so good too because it's sort of like the vibe of like, you know what, we're all at this part. This is kind of the old like the classic old Kesha vibes, like Paladin, and you sort of force everyone else to be at this party with you, and they're just as hammered drunk. And the real world effects of that it's perfect area control in a way that we don't normally see.
I like the idea, I just love the mental image of you in the middle of the group of bandits or whatever, and you do this, you transform, and you're like, woo, now it's a party. And all of them nearby you just start swaying. It's like, what's going on? And they all start feeling like a little drunk. And then, like, one of them falls over. And the thing is, when you're prone, ranged attacks have disadvantage, but melee attacks have advantage. So then it incentivizes your entire party to just
fall on them.
To just walk over and just start kicking them while they're down.
And they're benefiting from Aura of Sloshed, so your party is also like swaying and falling over themselves and just wailing.
I'll take a -3 penalty if I have advantage on a prone creature.
I was going to say, I love how well these abilities mechanically stack.
Good.
Like every ability, it's
pretty good.
It's actually really hard when you're making a subclass to make every ability feel unique, because it's kind of boring sometimes when an ability is just like the previous one, but now with this thing.
But it gets one more thing.
But it also is frustrating when they're unrelated, and it's like, well, they don't really feel like they're building off of each other. And an Aura of Sloshed to Woo do that so well.
Yeah, they feed off of each other and compound so well.
It does forget to say that if you have Aura of Sloshed and Woo happening at the same time, it does automatically play Born to be Wild like in the background, because that would have to happen.
It's just a broken jukebox.
That's the one you choose.
I was hearing
that is because
OG Kesha the whole time.
Oh, see, I was also thinking it could be the party don't start till I walk in. But the reason I picked that song is because Born to be Wild in cinematic history is the single most played song of all time of like real songs, and anytime there is a bar fight, they almost always play that song.
Like statistically speaking, if you're in a bar fight, the song playing is Born to be Wild.
And so that's why I chose that, is there's like actually precedent.
Maybe it's the like white New Englander in me, but I can only picture the song Sweet Caroline playing at like 10,000 decibels as you do all of the bits that you as the audience are Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba, like you're supposed to say that.
But it's punctuated with the like
as
stabs.
you're punching them,
Yeah.
Okay. Or what about this song?
Where you're beating them with your shoe.
With your shoe.
Yeah. And you're crying.
Or your purse.
And they're just trying. They're like, man, just stop. Just chill out.
You're not resistant to fire damage anymore.
You set your shoe on fire and like.
There's also this song, and I don't know the lyrics to it, so I'm gonna butcher it. And it's the one that goes, "And nobody was waiting, and nobody was yeah." Isn't that? You know what I'm talking about?
Ballroom Blitz.
Ballroom Blitz, yeah. Ballroom Blitz.
That's the part of the song that you remember?
Yeah. That's what I told you.
The man in the back said everyone attack and it turned into a ballroom blitz.
Look, because that's the part they usually have playing in the movie, if they have it. And I told you that I didn't know the song very well.
So all in all, this is delightful.
Very
I found
good.
it really compelling. When I saw it and I was like, what? Where is this going? Reading the title. And I was so like pleasantly surprised at every turn where I was like, I was like, okay, I get it. But I was like, no, I didn't get it, friends.
It's actually much better than you.
It was better in every way.
It's one of those classic like meme posts that you're like, oh wait. No,
Why
this
did
is
slap?
good. This is
had
good.
no right to slap this hard. Yeah, where it's like
oh gosh,
so good, but also it's like
the
really
soundtrack
good.
to Tarzan.
Yes. Yeah, it did not need to go that hard. It's a meme. This is a meme joke subclass, but also I would play one, you know?
But it's also, it
really
turns your entire party into a melee monster mosh pit. And
it's obscene to me that, dare I say, hot take, personal opinion.
I dare you, say
this is mechanically a better crafted subclass than I would say a number of like PHB subclasses are. In a lot of ways.
Wow.
You didn't write them, Onog.
Yeah, little known fact, Onog wrote the players.
I wrote the players.
That's
that's why I know it.
Have you been Jeremy Crawford this whole time?
I have been Jeremy Crawford in disguise. That's why I
mask.
disagree with almost anything Jeremy Crawford tweets.
Awesome.
It's like Bruce Wayne criticizing Batman.
But yeah, we love it. It's good stuff, good fun. Marshmallow figs, always a delight.
Yes.
So good.
Make sure to click the link in the description to go give the original post some love.
Follow that
Credit where
creator
credit
for
is
future
due, yeah.
creations they've got coming out.
Definitely look at their other stuff. And as always, if you have anything that you would like us to talk about, that you have seen or that you have made, please. What?
Do I have anything?
Yeah, you.
No, the
Yes,
traveler.
no, Thomas, you.
Oh.
If you want to contribute.
Fine.
Yeah, we kind of do that sometimes.
Thomas, if you want to start contributing to the show.
But yeah, if you have anything that you have found, or especially that you have made, please send it our way. We love seeing them. If we haven't gotten to it yet, we might still get to it. They're great. You can email us at thecopperfoxinn@gmail.com. You can send it to us on social media at thecopperfoxinn on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on social media. We don't post that much. Maybe we'll start if you follow us. I don't know.
It's so
If
hard
we
to
get
keep
to
up
1,000
with it.
followers in the next hour, I'll pour lemon juice in my eyes and we'll feel happy.
that.
was always
I
like,
know we can do it. I believe in the Copperfoxinn family team
let's
crew.
go. Smash that like button.
Copperheads.
So did
that's
did
what I
this
call
podcast get Blackout drunk and wander into a church?
YouTube army. Yeah, which makes it like a cool name for a fan army, Thomas. Sorry, I got hit by the Oro sloshed. I'm kind of.
Yeah, we're a little.
Thanks so much for listening, travelers. As Mercy said, remember to like the video and subscribe for future Dungeons & Dragons Homebrew Discussion content. And as always, until next time, keep on adventuring.
Woo.
Bye.
Bye.
Please drink responsibly.